Hey guys, MCU Collector here with another figure review. Next up is the Hasbro Marvel Legends series, the Spider-Man No Way Home wave of 2023. Here we have Marvel's Sandman. So this is an interesting one because it looks like a naked dude in the packaging. Now in the movie, he maintained sand form the entire movie because they did not get what's the actor's name? Something Hayden Christensen. Not Hayden Christensen. That's Darth Vader. I don't remember his name. I thought I had it, but anyway, he wasn't there on set. Plus, he's aged in the 20 years since the Spider-Man 3 had come out, or what however long it's been. So he maintained sand form the entire time. So this figure, it represents him from the movie, which is pretty cool. We've come a long way from those early days of old Sandman figures where this was an actual Marvel Legends figure that was released with a Sandman Build-A-Figure that was regarded as one of the absolute worst Build-A-Figures of all time, and rightfully so, because good God, it's ugly. And it doesn't really move. It doesn't do a whole lot of stuff. So we've come a long way in getting Sandman figures, so kind of an exciting time here. So I'm excited to kind of get to it and open it. This is the last figure in the wave for me to review. I got the entire wave I got from ToySnowman.com. They're your one-stop shop for all your action figure collecting needs. They're based in Canada, and they carry all your action figure collectibles. So all the Hasbro lines, the G.I. Joe, Star Wars, Marvel. They also have NECA, Mafex, SH Figuarts, imports, DC Multiverse, McFarlane Toys, all of that stuff. You guys can get them at ToySnowman.com. So link in the video description below. It is my referral link. So if you use that link, create an account, you get a 5% off coupon code that is good for first-time buyers. So make sure to check them out, ToySnowman.com. So here's Sandman. We get some cool accessories. So he has fists on the package. We get some open hands there. And then he's got enlarged open hands and then like these wrist pieces that'll go over the arm to kind of show as his hands get enlarged. So that is pretty cool. Nice accessories. Fills out the package quite nice. The other figures didn't quite do that as much. This guy does. So that is really cool. Looking at the back of the package there, the bio reads, Flint Marko, stuck in sand form, must go with the flow to get himself back home. Oh, he's stuck in sand form? Interesting. Okay, I guess maybe that's a part of the multiversal effect or something, that he had to be in sand form. He couldn't not be in sand form. That just didn't mention that in the movie whatsoever, but I guess that could make sense, because why wouldn't he show like standard human form? Kind of interesting. But I am excited to open this up. I actually think it looks pretty good. I mean, it's textured throughout to look like sand. So let's get this out of the package and take a better look. Okay, so here is the Sandman figure out of the package, and this thing is actually going to be a whole lot of fun. It really is. I've already kind of put on the little extender pieces and the enlarged hands, and then we have all the other hand goodness in here. I will check to see if the accessories from the retro Sandman will work. The coloring will be different, though. But you can fudge it, you can paint it, right? It can kind of work out. So I will see if these things will kind of work. The tricky thing is the extension pieces aren't going to work with that, so you'll have to kind of switch some stuff out. But we'll see kind of, again, if those can kind of port together and how they'll look. But yeah, this thing is actually going to be a whole lot of fun. But again, it does look weird because he's kind of there and just looks like this naked sand form, whereas I think from the movie, he still maintained the shape of his clothing, but they did not put that into the sculpt of the figure, which I think is odd and it's kind of what makes it look a little bit weird. But again, it is going to be a lot of fun. Lots of cool sculpted details in the body itself, because it's completely textured to give it the sand grained look. But something with the feet is going to be really cool. So let's go ahead and get in for the close-up look at everything of the figure, and then we'll move into the articulation and stuff. Okay, up close look at Sandman. Does that look like the actor? I think his name is Thomas Hayden Church, right? Maybe that is. You guys let me know down in the comments below if I was right. But anyway, I think it's a fairly decent likeness to him. It is better than this. Although this, I guess, wasn't terrible for, 20 years ago, but not great, obviously. Big size difference there. I thought it was going to be an even bigger size difference, so I'm a little bit surprised actually how tall this kind of stands out. And then even like with this one here, you know, I think it's still a fairly decent likeness. But again, we never actually saw his face other than when he transformed back into human form at the end of the movie. But that was just repurposed footage from Spider-Man 3. So it's not... They didn't get any kind of new footage or anything for No Way Home, but I think it looks pretty good. Looking at the whole texturing of the figure, it is just kind of insane. It's throughout. The back of the figure doesn't get a whole lot of paint, though, as you can see, just a little bit here on the back of the shoulders, back of the head. Nothing on the back of the legs or anything. Hasbro tends to not give any paint on the back of figures. You know, we see that all the time. The hands, the arms get a little bit of shading and things kind of going on in there with the brown paint to bring out the textures, and it looks pretty good. Looking at the sculpt of it, check out the feet, how they sculpted the feet. They have the kind of the sand clumps on the sides and everything. Provides a little bit more stability, which is nice, but it just kind of gives it a more realistic look, that it's not just going to be perfectly shaped like a foot would have, or a shoe would have. It just kind of has the sand out a little bit more, you know. So I think that was definitely a nice touch. I really like the way that came out. So yeah, really good. The only other thing is the hinges do not get any sculpted texturing detail. So very smooth on those hinges on the elbow, very smooth on the hinges of the knees and the wrist. Is it a big deal? No, but I think I've seen some pieces where those have been textured before. It's just this guy didn't get them. I don't hate it, but you know, would have been nice if it didn't completely like break it up. You know, would have been pretty cool. But looks really good. One thing about it with these extension pieces, which is really cool, so popping the hand off, is you can see that peg is extra long, because essentially what happens is it still plugs into the wrist here, but the way these work, you can actually see there's an L and an R to know which arm it goes on. So like this one says R2, the other one says L2. So basically you would just position it over the forearm there, and then it just kind of provides the extension so you can port this on in there. Because you could technically do that. It would just look, obviously, a little bit funny how you do that. So the extension piece provides a little bit more stability in there, but makes it look like, you know, that he's forcing, you know, additional sand over to his hands, so it has to start to get bigger and bigger, and then until it gets into the larger hands. So that is cool. But other than that, again, we do have fists, and we do just kind of have these open hands there, and they do each get a little bit of brown paint shading on the back of the hands. So not too shabby. I like the way that looks. Same thing on this side. Again, you'll see L2 there, so you can have that. And you can kind of, you know, rearrange the hands however you want. But there's the fun of the Sandman figure. Okay, so let's go ahead and check out the articulation. The head is on a dumbbell joint, so he can look up actually really well. He can look down really well too, so that is good. There's some good pivot going on in there. Get a full rotation in that head, of course. It does seem kind of high when you get into certain spots, but it does allow for some really good movement. You can get the shoulder to go out that much there. Full rotation, upper bicep swivel in there. Double jointed pinless elbow gives you that much bend there at the elbow, which is quite nice. Wrist swivel, and they do hinge. All hands have the standard horizontal hinge, including the enlarged hands, which is pretty good. We got a diaphragm cut on him, so he could tilt to his left that much. He could tilt to his right that much. You can go back a little bit, but it does kind of get ugly in there. So it looks like the textured piece. There might be another like plastic piece up underneath, or just a separate piece right there. You can kind of see it, and it breaks it up a little bit, so that's a little unfortunate when you kind of go back. Coming forward is pretty minimal as well. You get a swivel at that diaphragm. Even the swivel can look kind of ugly, so you want to do small movements in there. So a little unfortunate there that we, you know, a waist swivel would have been nice and just do an ab crunch, but they opted this way. It looks a little bit funky in my opinion. Legs go out that far apart. He can kick forward really high, which is great. The leg goes back slightly. Upper thigh cut in there. Double jointed pinless knee, as you can see there. No calf swivel or boot swivel. Foot hinges down. You get some hinge up there. Ankle pivot, peg holes at the bottom of the feet. Look at the shape of the foot. So decent articulation, not a whole lot. You know, you can get him into certain turns and stuff that you're going to need him to do. But you know, the diaphragm is fairly lacking. It's just, and then the fact that you can kind of see those like inner working parts is a little bit of a disappointment. So kind of tough. But now let's go ahead and see if the retro card figure pieces will actually work with this guy again. different color sand, but paint, you know, could go a long way to fix that. So if you have this enlarged hand, you can pop that on there. It looks a little bit funky. I know we had these pieces before to kind of help break that up. Let's see if this would work. And technically, yes. Wait, hold on. Is this how that Is this how it worked? So yes, technically you can make these things work, but I mean, there's just, you know, color-wise, it's not a match, but they do work together. Is this one to go there? I mean, you can make it work. You can fudge it around if that's what you wanted to do. Let's pop that head off and let's see if like comic book Sandman head could work, and that is not gonna pop on there. Yeah, you can kind of fudge it, but the head's going to look really big on there, so that's not going to work out too well. Let's see if we use the body of it. Can the sand head go on there? It's going to be too small. So it goes on there, but, you know, that really doesn't look right. Yeah, that's really, really, really not good. So you don't want to mix the pieces, the heads anyway. The arm and hand pieces you could probably kind of work around. I think it is going to get tricky when it comes to like the enlarged hands, that they're just not really going to work. I guess a little bit. You can get it. It's not a perfect fit or anything, but you can actually get those to work. So if you wanted, you know, kind of half Sandman, half not, that's something that you would be able to work with. So we have our movie Sandman figures, just so much better. This new one, it's just, yeah, the old ones just really don't hold up well, like at all, and it's just really not good. Like this is just too little plastic and kids toy like to be a proper collectible figure. And then of course you have this big huge hunk of plastic that didn't really do anything. I mean, you had swivel on these things, but yeah, it wasn't a whole lot that you could do there. So yeah. This does make me happy seeing these two together. So we have the Tobey Maguire Spider-Man along with this Sandman. So that's cool that we can kind of go and do that. You know, if we look at like Final Battle kind of stuff, we can throw in our Spider-Man figure. So we have the integrated suit there. And then we can throw in Andrew Garfield, Amazing Spider-Man, there. Okay, so here we have the entire No Way Home wave. Solid roundabout cast of characters for this. The Daredevil figure, again, good suited body, terrible Matt Murdock likeness to Charlie Cox. But I love the wave. I didn't need a second Tobey Maguire, Andrew Garfield, but we do get the unmasked head sculpts this time around. MJ definitely came out nice, but we get the Machina de Cadavas accessory piece, which is great. But most importantly, we got the Final Swing Spider-Man figure, which I'm just absolutely in love with, and I'm very, 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 very happy to have. But you guys let me know down in the comments below, what do you think of this wave of No Way Home figures? We know Green Goblin is still coming. I'll have hopefully a review of that probably sometime tomorrow. Doc Ock, who knows when that's going to start hitting. So we're still going to need a Lizard and an Electro figure. Hasbro did tease those, that the rest of the villains will be coming. Will they for sure? I don't know. But I think there's definitely a solid chance, because you can't just do Sandman, Doc Ock, Green Goblin, yes, of course, but Sandman and not do Lizard and Electro. I think we need those two. So I'm hoping, you know, sooner than later we will get them in the first half of 2024, maybe, hopefully, fingers crossed, we'll see. But definitely liking the wave. You guys let me know down in the comments below, what do you think of the wave, which is your favorite figure? Let me know in the comments below. If you guys like this video, please do me a favor and hit that thumbs up button. Subscribe if you haven't already done so. If you're interested in helping support the channel, hit that join button to become a channel member and be a part of the MCU collective. And as always, thank you for watching.